short. Hoo-hoo!
Hey everybody, welcome to the StabCast, damn it. I'm Dizzle.
And I am Mizzle.
We're Mindy and Dizzle, Mizzle and Dizzle, and we're here for another weekend of horror movies and another spooky Sunday. We actually weren't. No, we did pre-record, so people were with us for Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park, Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 2.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. But we're back.
We review horror movies. Welcome back to Jurassic Park.
We're back here to talk about The Prodigy from 2019. We watched it on the Tubi. And you enjoyed it. Bidet?
I mean, I saw it 2 years ago, and it just really put chills through my spine because it's not your average killer kid movie. It really isn't, and it's not your typically average possession piece. It's kind of like a mixture, like a bath of all of them. Like they all got baked into one big pie. And I liked the pie. I know you didn't like the pie, but I liked the pie.
The pie was okay.
I thought it was really cool. And I'm sorry, this little boy, I've got to give it to him. He does perfectly sweet and not annoying. I mean, he's a little whiny, but he's not Babadook.
Yeah. And
he does sinister so fucking well. Especially with his eyes.
Yeah.
With his face, Daniel. Oh my goodness. Yeah. His face is... for being 8, his face was insane. His facials were insane.
He's no Damien yet. He's no kid from The Omen, or he doesn't match up there with the classic horror kids of all time.
But I'm not saying that. I'm just saying though he had very good facial expressions.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job.
I will say that. I'll give that to him. He had very good facial expressions.
He's a spooky little bastard. I'll give him that.
He was spooky, and he did it in the right way where he didn't annoy the shit out of me.
Jackson Robert Scott is the fella's name.
Oh, okay. And hello, Jackson.
And I think he did do a good job. And I thought it was a good performance. I like the mom better. You're damn right.
I mean, she's in a few different horror movies. Isn't that the one who's in Invisible Man? No, she's not in Invisible Man. But she does a few horror. I think she's done a few horror movies.
She may have.
Yeah, I think I've seen her before. But Dito's like, yeah, I like the girl.
I thought she was good at it.
She was really good. I felt so bad for the dad.
Well, because yeah. I mean, but
well, so we should probably explain what the hell's.
Explain it.
So Sarah and her husband, they have been waiting for a really long time to get pregnant, and to not even get pregnant for Sarah to be able to carry a baby full term. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you swap over to this other scene, and you got this chick running through the woods, running like hell, blood going everywhere. You have no idea what's going on. And then it switches back to the hospital and shit, and they're getting ready to drive there to have the baby and whatnot. And she looks at their dog, Tallulah, and she's like, oh, we're going to finally bring you home a baby brother, finally, after all this time. So I guess they've been trying for a really long time. And because of this, when Miles was born, the police were immediately led to where this man, the serial killer, was doing a serial killer thing.
Edward Skarka
is his name, and his traditional way is cutting off a lady's hand and then killing them.
Yeah.
And this lady, she only just lost her hand. She got lucky. But the same way, and I don't know if you saw this, Daniel, because for some reason the guy was naked. I don't get it. I don't get that. But for some reason, Edward Skarka was naked. Did you notice the pose that he had and the splotches of blood that he had? They were the same splotches on the baby.
The same splashes.
and the baby was spread out like this when it was born.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's
cool.
some good cinematography right there.
It is cool. I think that's the part that kind of makes me a little annoyed with the movie, is that I think they wanted this to be a twist, and all you have to do is watch the movie to know that it's not. I know that the kid's that fucking killer as soon as he's born. I know that because it's a few seconds in. They don't have to do that big reveal and shit later. All you have to do is watch the beginning here and be like, okay, the kid's him now.
I mean, I guess I didn't get it at first, honestly.
Really?
When I first watched it a few years ago, I thought it was just going to be your run-of-the-mill, like, killer kid movie.
So you thought it was just a coincidence this dude did all this shit and this kid's born right after. You're like, oh, okay.
I mean, they didn't really say all that stuff, though. And I mean, who would think somebody from Montgomery County, Ohio is going to affect a family in Fox Chapel, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty damn far.
It's far away.
Oh, we're good. Thank you. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's just... And I've never really been one to say reincarnation is a thing. And I think that's why you're having trouble with the two, calling it possession. Because I have looked it up, and apparently possession is by a entity.
Yeah.
If you are possessed normally by a demon.
Yeah.
So, and like ghostly possessions, those are poltergeists. What he was going through, what was called regeneration.
Yeah.
And what that meant is that he remembered his whole life, his family, everything. And certain kid that I'm sitting next to,
yeah,
you had a second family too when you were younger.
Yeah.
You would talk about it all the time. Wasn't I a hippo?
Maybe.
I was something. One time I was a hippo. The other time I was a cow. I don't know if you were insulting me or if you were telling me that stuff. But it's just crazy to me. And like I was talking to my aunt about it earlier, and she was like, well, don't you remember you were Mrs. Bunt? Like you used to dress up and like have like a fancy name, and like you dress up in Nana's shoes and her earrings and her pearls, and it's like, oh, I was Mrs. Bunt. Kids are weird.
Yeah, kids are fucking stupid, and it's a cool play.
Stupid, they're weird.
It's a cool play on that about kids being fucking idiots and making shit up and being little and stupid and creative. So that's cool. But I mean, obviously this kid. Yeah, it's my second family and I just kill people on the side. My name's Edward Skak. I like one of my favorite scenes. I think we.
Oh, real quick though, I do want to say when they're at the doctor's office before, like he gets his shots, he doesn't cry and whatnot, which is weird. But and the one lady's looking at the baby and she's like, "Oh, look at him! He's got two different eyes." And the mom's like, "Yeah, it's called heterochromia. It's when one eye is different than the other eye, or a different color than the other eye. It's genetic." What the fuck? You don't have that?
Yeah.
Your husband don't have it?
Yeah.
You don't say anyone in your family has it? How is it genetic?
And that's my thing. It feels a little ham-fisted, so they can later be like, oh, the killer had different color eyes too.
Yeah, like that was, for me, that was stupid. I will agree with you on that. For me, that was predictable. Absolutely. I will give you that. Yeah. And the fact that he didn't hit shots done and he didn't get sick, I did think, honestly, I thought it was going to be a Damien situation, not the killer inside of him situation. Yeah. But I think he did a good job for what he did. The little kid did a great job.
And here's the thing, and like I said about the mom, you didn't seem to agree with me. I'd love to see your critiques on her. But I thought, because a crucial part of these movies, and I know it's a little different because, the killer's, reborn as him. Or, maybe it was Freaky Friday or something. I don't know. But
I think of it like a Freaky Friday, Daniel. Kind of. But then he had to fight for control of his own body until he lost.
No, I know. These type of movies where the kid's going cray-cray and the mom's got to sit there and deal with the emotional depth the whole time. they really rely on both performances, and the kid coming across as sinister and eerie and not annoying, which is hard to do for kids in movies in general, and for the mom to just not break down, break down, but in like a entertaining.
But she kept it calm and cool and collected most of the time.
Exactly, and that performance it kind of carries the film, and I do think that her, trying to because.
You bring up a good point. You really do, especially when they're looking for their dog.
Yeah.
And the father gets in his face because he said, like, one day you're going to die, Dad.
Yeah, Joel,
and
right?
So he got into his face, and, like, the mom's like, no, we're not doing this. Go to your brothers. And he went to his brothers, and they're sleeping, and flies are all over. And Miles, actually, this is the last time he ever spoke to his mother.
Yeah.
He said, do you promise that you will love me no matter what I do? Because something is going on. Someone's in me, and I don't know what's happening, but I don't know if I'm going to be here anymore. Yeah. So he knew what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what's stupid to me about the adults. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. Unfortunately, he got put inside the body of a very, very, very intelligent little boy.
Yeah.
And he was intelligent. I think that's actually why Miles was so intelligent.
Yeah.
Because Edward Saka was so intelligent.
And it's one of those horror movies with the theme and of the mom. A lot of the emotional value is the mom trying to come to terms with her baby boy, who is a prodigy, who's someone who is kind of a genius and someone that's special and that everyone's only looked at with fond eyes.
No, she kind of takes it the opposite way.
But slowly, can I?
Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
But someone that, has to deal on the other end of that kid kind of going fucking nuts, and that kid, slowly becoming something truly purely evil, and that kind of take of a mom having to deal with that, and seeing a mom go from somebody that's, she's got this special little boy to, oh my God, this kid, like, I might have to fucking lock him up, It is a fun conflict of interest and a fun kind of look for this movie and an angle for it to take.
Yeah, and I will have to agree with you. If they had put a different actress in there, I don't think it would have worked as well.
Yeah.
I think this actress did a very good job of being calm, cool, and collected, basically. Yeah. Like, she did an amazing job of just being like, you know what, I'm going to protect my kid. And I'm going to protect my husband. And then, like, when she finds out what's going on, like, I need to figure out what's going on with my child. I need to get this bastard out.
Yeah.
A lot of parents are not going to do that. They're going to be like, oh, priest, exorcism?
Yeah.
Can I have some help, please? No. She knocks the kid out after finding out that the way to make this go away is to finish what he started, which is, of course, go after the 10th victim that got away.
And John was a good character of being the one that it's like, because he's the juxtaposition to have to see and tell her, like, no, dude, this kid's going, like, something's going wrong here. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on, but this kid is.
Well, that's why you took him out.
Yeah,
because you always take out the parent that's got more brains.
Yeah. And they played on because the mother and son, in the movies, it's been explored a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a fun thing to explore because, when you give birth to somebody and, and I haven't, I've had a kidney stone, which is close, but and I felt very close to that stone and I didn't want it. I had empty nest for it. But a lot of kids and their mother, especially little boys, they develop this, relationship. And they don't want to believe that, their kid could do something so awful. Mm-hmm. So whenever that's explored, even though it's explored quite a bit, you can find different ways to explore it, and it's a fun thing to explore. And this one does it in a different way to where this kid also had a lot to give potential-wise. He was going to be the next fucking, Bill Gates. And he ended up, being
the
all
next
fucked up.
Jeffrey Dahmer instead.
And I do like the theme that this movie takes with that. And that is one of the things, not the strikes, but the checks that I give it, that I think that it does pretty damn well.
And I think it was really creative the way that Miles had the blades behind his back.
Yeah.
While the father, because they were going to institutionalize this boy.
Yeah.
And then the mother was like, wait an hour, go get him. I'll meet you there. And I will make sure that I have his clothes and everything. But let's go. So gets Miles out of the classroom, gets in the car and everything. And Miles or Edward or whatever is thinking in the back of his head, basically, like, I'm screwed. They're about to commit me. Like, they all think I'm sick. They don't know what's really going on. I need to stop this. And how do you stop the smart parent? You hurt him.
Yeah.
So he literally has these blades that he, like, Freddy Krueger, like, this man's spine, basically. And they got in a horrible car accident. Miles walked away with a couple of scratches, of course. And acting like damn Superman over here. Like Joe, his wife is told, like, oh, we had to knock your husband out for like a month, maybe more, because we need to wait for the swelling in his brain to go down so we can like figure out what's actually going on. What the heck?
Yeah.
What the hell? But what I love about the mother is that most moms, what are they going to do? They're going to cry.
Yeah.
They're going to go to their husband and they're going to, oh, honey, who did this? I'm so sorry. I'm going to find out who did this. She took it a different way. She went up to him, held his hand, and she's like, I'm going to fix it. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm going to get him out of our lives. I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's when she put two and two together and realized that she had to finish what Edward Saska had started, basically.
Yeah. And it didn't work out for her at all. So I mean, it's a great plan. But
she knocks this boy out and she goes to a pawn shop. She gets gun and some bullets. Like, she's got some chutzpah. She thought this through.
Yeah.
And she comes through with the gun and the bullets and whatnot, and she meets with the woman for tea and telling her, like, hey, my son's going through a similar situation than you are. I would really like it if we could sit down and talk. And, like, she kind of wusses out. Yeah. Well, then the outdoor cat suddenly inside the house, and the door that was closed is open. And, like, I realized it this last watch, but it was very easy to not see that door being open.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm glad they had the cat because I didn't know the door was open. And then all of a sudden, like, the mom appears and, like, she tries to shoot her, but she can't. So Edward, realizing that she wasn't going to do it for him, he walks right up to her with a blade and he's like, which one do you like better, blue or hazel? And he does that with the knife at least like 4 times?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, that's what he said when I first met him. And like he's like, oh, hey, Margaret. And he got right on top of her and like started fucking like just bam, bam, bam. And then here's one thing you never see out of a psychotic kid, even a kid that snaps, even Tommy Jarvis. He guts her like a freaking deer. Guy, seriously, like literally guts this woman.
Yeah. Completely disembowels her.
It's ridiculous. Like, it disembowels her. Like,
yeah.
It was so creepy. It was so creepy.
It was gruesome. It's one of those scenes, you know?
Yeah, it was one of those, like,
yeah.
He's a kid.
Yeah. What
the hell? Like, he's supposed to be a child.
But he's not. That was your whole thing.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like, that was intense. That was an intense scene.
Yeah. That's what it's like. I don't care if the kid can play the piano with nobody's fucking I don't care what he's great at, you know? He can be the brilliant, most...
You can be a brilliant artist all you want to, kid.
Don't stab me in the tummy. That's all I ask. Don't stab me.
You didn't stab her. He gutted her
Yeah.
in the stomach. Like let's say we gotta do this because it's StabCast. He gutted her like a fish.
Yeah, she didn't have any tummy left by the end of it.
And then he runs to the cornfield, and she sees her little boy, and he's like, and like she can't see him; she can only see the shoulders going up and down. And this little fucker's laughing.
Yeah.
And she's like, "All right, this is it. We finished our work. Give me your son." And he's like, "She's like, I mean, I give me my kid back." And he's like, "You really think he's still alive? Really?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's dead. He's been gone for a while now, actually."
It's just me now.
And she's like, "What? What?" And he's like, "The last time we talked to him was when he asked you if he did anything, if you would still love him. And you said yes, like cute little mom that you are. Ever since then, I was just going, Mommy, I need your help. Mommy, Daddy's going to hit me." You were really very predictable, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, this is a completely different person.
Yeah.
And that's why I give such a good review for the kid, because he did a good job at turning on that evilness.
Yeah.
And like she's getting ready to shoot him, and all of a sudden and this is what I hate about farmers and shit. When you find somebody getting ready to shoot an evil kid, don't shoot the shooter. Ask them what's going on.
Yeah.
I see this happen all the time in movies. They're just about to get rid of the bad kid, and then the person gets shot from somebody else. Has no idea what's going on. Ask questions.
I loved it. I thought it was a good ending.
Yeah, the ending was really good. It was a very good ending. It was very bleak.
Yeah.
We're not used to that here. Normally, we try to focus on the ending being a good story. So I do think that this was a good match for what we're trying to bring in to this.
Yeah, and the mom. There's something poetic, and I know there.
You just love that mom, don't you?
The way she died. I mean, I love seeing her get shot. I guess there was just something poetic about watching her go. She tried so hard to fucking save this kid, and then at the end of the day, it was something out of her control.
I mean, you're right, because it wasn't even like an Omen thing where, at the last 5 seconds, she decides that he needs to be killed and whatnot. It's not like that. It's like the entire film, you can see her unraveling.
Yeah.
So, and she wasn't obnoxious like the Babadook woman.
Yeah.
Or the Hereditary woman or anything. She was a very calm woman for having a man as a psychopath as her child.
And I don't think she deserves a fucking Oscar or nothing.
Neither do I. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she did a really good job.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think to that
her
emotional
and the kid carried the movie.
And well, John was good too. The whole family dynamic of this kid's special, and oh my God, this kid's fun.
Oh my God, can we talk about the therapist for a second?
Yeah, well, my favorite scene I was trying to talk about earlier is when the kid when they leave and on the couch it's Skarka and the thing. He looked like keys into the couch almost.
No, it was with his fingernails he was asking. He had him under hypnosis, and he was asking him what his real name was, and Miles couldn't break through to tell him, so he scratched it into his couch.
Yeah, and that was the first. I mean, if you didn't know at that point, then what the fuck? But yeah, that's...
Well, no, before that, you even know.
Yeah,
because at the beginning of the psychiatrist scene or whatnot, when they're doing the hypnotism and everything, that man is horrible. Not the doctor, Edward Zarka. He is horrible. He's like, you do realize you have a lot of pills in your medicine cabinet, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, they're all legal. You find nothing in there. And he's like, yeah, but it will be pretty funny when they find it in my system after I tell Sarah about how you put your cock in my mouth while I was asleep.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to snap my fingers back. Miles is going to come back. We're going to go downstairs to Mom, and you're going to tell him the regression therapy didn't work, and I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's going to go. And until the therapist saw the writing on the couch, because he didn't see this till after. He actually called Sarah and the mother around like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, get away from Miles. Because Miles was like keeping track of them. He was spying on them. He was using his baby monitors, speakers around the house. This kid was smart.
Yeah.
And listening to everything, lying, conniving. And so he's like, get to a computer now and do it as quick as you can. And she looks up Edward Skarska, and she's like, oh my God, is this Susan Miles? And he is like, yeah, you cannot believe anything he says to you from now on. Anything he says, he's lying.
Yeah.
If he's sleeping, most likely he's not sleeping.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit. They're screwed.
Can't trust him.
I will have to say, though, it was very refreshing to have, even though one of the parents were out of commission, it was very refreshing for them not to die.
Yeah.
Because normally in kid movies, you always see it. One parent takes the fall and the other parent is there to be the hero or whatnot. But normally the first parent is dead.
Yeah.
So I am glad that they decided to not kill the father.
Yeah. The mom dies, though, at the end, right?
Yeah, technically she gets shot.
I was going to say she is dead, right? Or
yeah.
Is there a director's
Technically
cut?
she gets shot. Oh, my God, Daniel. That means he's going to wake up in like a month out of his coma and he's still going to have his crazy kid.
Yeah, and the whole thing.
God help him.
Yeah, and the whole thing is that this kid's going to stay in a foster home until he wakes up. This guy's going to wake up and be like, wait, she's dead?
2029, we're getting a sequel. I'm calling it now. 2029, we're getting a sequel.
And he's gonna wake up. She's dead, and he's fucking what? He's gonna be freaking the fuck out. So,
well, your wife was gonna shoot your evil child. I don't care.
All right, how many Evil Omen babies out of 10 would you give this?
God, Evil Omen babies. I'm gonna go with severed hands instead. I would give this at least 8 severed hands.
Okay.
Just because the cinematography, like when he's getting up for the light bulb,
it's shot very well.
Like get the light bulb out and smash it for the one teeny bop, or I think she was like my age, like babysitter or whatnot. That was creative. The way that they had like his shadow grow.
Yeah, that was a cool shot.
They did the cinematography. Honestly, it was really good.
Yeah.
Very good. So
and this made some money too. I think it had like a 10 million or 6 million budget, and it made 22 million. So
that's right before COVID. So that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I would give it 6.8. Demonic devil child serial killer slaughter babies out of 10.
Well, is that a 6.8?
Yeah, 6.
That was a lot.
I would give it a 6.8. I thought it, like you, I thought it was shot very well. And I do like the plot of the serial killer and the little kid.
You just don't see it that often.
Yeah,
you don't see reincarnation that often.
You don't see you don't see the reason, but you see this backdrop a lot. You see a kid kind of slowly, becoming a demon, and the mom having to deal with it.
But he wasn't a demon; he was a serial killer.
Yeah. But a lot of people will call that a demon nowadays. I thought it was a good movie, but I don't think it was perfect.
It wasn't perfect. It doesn't deserve a sequel. I'm just saying that because this year is Revenge of the Sequels.
Yeah.
So I'm just being a smart ass. I don't think it actually deserves one at all.
Out of all the scary little kid movies, this is pretty good, though. And it's a solid 6.8. I would still recommend to watch it.
Yeah.
Why don't you let everybody what we're doing next week?
All right. So next week, we're going to have a special guest on. His name is Dylan. I need to ask him for his last name because I forgot. But he is very renowned on YouTube and on TikTok as well. He is a writer. He writes horror fan fiction. He also does horror movie reviews himself. He does it on religious movies. Yeah. So up on the YouTube, we're going to have this one that we were supposed to have this week, but we forgot. We thought we lost it, but we found it.
We found it.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yes.
And then that's going to be going up against Stigmata, which we've done before, but we haven't done like in front of the camera.
Right.
And then the third one will be The Lodge.
Yes.
So
vote on that.
Vote on that. Get it done. Hooty hoo, y'all.
Hooty hoo. We love you.
All right. We love you guys so much. Thank you all so much for supporting us. I mean, we're almost to 250 for followers. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah. Hooty hoo.
Goodbye.
Love you guys. Bye.